Today's guest is always ready to answer these questions. How do you answer the atheist who says there is no God? Why do you believe the Bible is the Word of God? How can a loving God send people to hell? If God is all powerful and perfect, why is there evil in the world? Is the earth billions of years old? Who is Jesus? And how do you know if you will go to heaven or hell when you die? Welcome to CWS Christian Writing and Speaking. I'm your host, Jackie Wilson. And today's guest is an author, an international speaker, and so much more. From his youth, he has been passionate about Christian apologetics. He studied much on creation science, evolutionary science, bibliology, and how we can know the truth. He has studied and taught courses from fantastic organizations such as Answers in Genesis, Living Waters in Creation Today. Also, the man whose work is most responsible for him going down the road is the founder of the Institute for Christian Research, Dr. Henry Morris, PhD. And today, we will not only learn about his background as to why he took this road to learn about his Christianity, but also we will delve into his books, Would You Believe? And the workbook, Got Faith. Let's welcome to the CWS stage, Mr. Scott Wells.
Aloha from
Welcome,
Hawaii.
Scott.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I know there's a time difference right now. Like you said, you are in Hawaii, and we probably wish we were there with you in the sun. But we're so grateful that you have come on today because, as I was mentioning to you before we hit record, I just found it interesting that you took the role of Christian apologetics early in life because a lot of times we only see that much later in life. So I want to hear the story. Why take this road to be able to tell people about the Christian faith?
Sure. So, I had the privilege of growing up in a Christian home, and when I was in high school, I we went to like a week long. It was kind of like a vacation Bible school, but for adults. And the main speaker was a Christian apologist who focused on cults. Like the whole week,
Hmm.
we learned about different cults and what they teach and stuff. And I just found that incredibly fascinating. Like growing up in a Christian church, I understood what we believe. I understood what the Bible taught, but I hadn't ever heard about what other religions teach, other world religions and Christian cults, those kind of things. So it was fascinating to hear things like what the Mormons teach, what Jehovah Witnesses teach, what Muslims teach, just different groups, different organizations. So that was very fascinating to me, and that started, I suppose, my research.
And would you say that learning about other people's religious practices and beliefs helps strengthen your belief or help you be able to better answer questions when it comes to your belief?
I would say both. That when you have the truth and you learn about all these other beliefs that are not the truth, you can see you have a better understanding of what the truth is and why that's the truth. And when you hear something that another religion teaches that isn't right, you go, wait a minute, is that right? And then you do more research, and so that additional research helps strengthen your faith and helps you understand, when you're learning and you're doing this research and you want to know, okay, well, what do I believe? What is the truth? What is correct? And I'm the type of person that always likes to be right, for good or bad. And there is some negative to that. My mom would tell me I argue too much, but she always thought I was going to grow up and become a lawyer because I was very argumentative. But you can use that for good as well. I mean, the drive that gives you to learn and to be right and to know how to defend your faith. Of course, I've also had to learn to not be argumentative, because the goal isn't ever to win an argument. The goal is to lead people to Christ, right?
Right.
And so, I've had to learn to be, as the Bible puts it, wise as a serpent, but as gentle as a dove.
Hmm.
So it's been a good journey though, and a learning experience, and just stuff that still fascinates me. Always stuff to learn.
I like the fact that you said that it drives you deeper into basically your research to find out more so you will know how to answer. What are some steps that you take when you are wanting to learn a new answer or just overall just want to learn more about what it is that someone has said in contrast to what you believe?
Well, first of all, what does the Bible say about it? Not what does Billy Sue have to say about it, or John, so and so have to say about it, but what does the Bible have to say about it? And so, that's my foundation. That's my bedrock. And if it contradicts the Bible, then I know, okay, that's not true, because I've already determined through much research that I know the Bible is the truth. So that's where I go first. And then out in detail in the Bible, like, I don't know, creation science, then I may need to go to some experts that I've learned to trust over the years, or, read what both sides are talking about, what both sides have to say about the subject. So Bible first, and then experts second, and, publications, and what others have to say.
Yeah, I'm right there with you about, if it's contradicting the Bible, then you already know that's not true. Now, I think the key is just knowing that the Bible is true. I think a lot of people respond concerning their faith because maybe they just haven't studied it enough, or they only believe a portion of it is true and not the other portion. How do we become stronger in that?
How do we become? I think that's a good question. The way we become stronger is just more reading. And I'm sure you've read a book multiple times or seen a movie multiple times, and you know that each time you read it or see it, you realize something new. You're like, oh, I didn't notice that before. And so, we need to always be reading, but also it's one thing to, let's say I have a goal to read the Bible through in a year. Okay, that's great. It's a good goal. It's good to do that, but we also need to be able to dive deeper into things. And let's say, for example, you take the book of John in the New Testament. You can read that through in a week's time, just taking a few chapters a day. And what is amazing is, let's say you read it through, you read, let's say, 7 chapters, and then you reread those 7 chapters, and then you listen to those 7 chapters, on somebody's audio recording of the scriptures. Or what I like to do is do both, where I'm reading and listening. In other words, I'm doing these things on repeat so that I it's like the movie that I'm watching for the fourth or fifth or sixth time. I'm picking up new things. So just diving in, and then also looking at the commentary. Okay, what is the what commentaries are out there? What do they have to say? Are they giving me insights that I never thought of? Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that perspective before. So there's a difference between reading through something and diving into something. And so I think it's important to read and reread and listen to, and read commentaries, and really dive into whatever it is that you're trying to get more information on, or learn about.
Yeah, I think you highlighted two very important things here. One, you need to go like they can quote certain parts of their favorite movies over and over again, but I think you almost issued a
Right,
challenge saying, "Hey, can you quote the parts of the Bible that you repeatedly read?"
right.
So, audience, if that's stepping on your toes, that's something to really think about here. The other thing that I like you said, like that you're saying is we can read the Bible through and we can read it, but are we really studying it? And it's almost like you're saying, choose a topic that interests you, something that maybe you have wondered about or have questions about, and dive deep into that. And it's like you'll have a richer experience approaching the Bible that way versus just trying to do the generic read through the entire Bible just to say that you've read through the Bible.
Right, exactly.
So let's talk about your book, Scott. Let's tell the people what the titles are again.
Okay, so the two books are Would You Believe and Got Faith.
Mm. Why did you write Would You Believe?
So, as you just heard, apologetics is something that I've been always fascinated with and always wanting to be, find find the answers. And I have, through that had many opportunities to teach. I've taught in India a couple of times. I've taught at various churches, and so I've had this material, right? I've had material on, like those questions that you asked to be, and I just felt like I need to turn this into a book. I just felt like God was calling me to take this knowledge that I teach on, take these basically classes that I had developed, and dump that into a book. And so that's what I did. People ask me, how long did it take to write a book? Well, on one hand, it's taken me 25 years, but on the other hand, it's taken me, months, you know, because in the actual writing of the book, all I did was take what I'd already compiled, but in like class format or, curriculum, whatever, and put it into what I think is easy to read book that it can have appeal to anybody. So
Yeah, I often tell people because we have another division where we help people write books. I often tell people the books that you write is already in you. And literally, you said you took those courses and you created this book to answer those questions that people often have. Tell me, what has the response been like?
So the responses have been overwhelmingly positive. One feedback that I got very consistently on the Would You Believe is, hey, this needs to be a workbook. This would be a great study, like a small group study. This would be a great, adult Sunday school curriculum. Could you make this into a workbook? And that's my second book, Got Faith. And so basically, the two books are very similar in content as far as covering the same chapters. But the first one is written really more for anybody, maybe geared even towards the non believer, and walking a person through knowing there's a God, knowing that the Bible is his word and
Mhm.
it's the truth, knowing who Jesus is, and knowing how to have that personal relationship. And so wrote Got Faith. Basically, I took that same material, reworded it a little bit to be focused on the Christian, and added a study guide at the end of every chapter. So, Would You Believe is a great book to hand to somebody as a gift. Hey, read this. And then Got Faith is a great book for to do either a personal study or classroom study, small group, that type of thing.
Yeah, I love that you talked about that people kind of leave that part out of their Christian faith walk. We have to have that personal relationship, and your books are actually aiding people in developing that personal relationship with God. So I love that.
Yes, thank you.
Love that. So Scott, what is next for you? You have the two books, you're speaking internationally, you're teaching courses. What else is on the table for you to do?
Mainly to do more speaking is what I would like to focus on. I have a 9 to 5 job. My other world is I'm a IT specialist. I do computer work, and what I'd like to be able to do is leave that and have my income from speaking and selling books replace my 9 to 5 job and just work, helping others grow in their faith. So that's my goal.
Yeah, it's a very worthy goal. Definitely very worthy. So, Scott, how can people connect with you on social media and where can they find your
So right
books?
now they can actually download the Would You Believe for free. If you go to challenge.inspirefaith.net, you can give me your email and I'll send you a link to the book. You not only will get that book for free, but also the 90-day challenge that I've developed for Christians to grow in their faith. And so I'm giving away both of those free. And you'll also get information on how to buy both books. If you want the paperback and of course the Got Faith workbook, you can go to Amazon. But if you go to challenge.inspirefaith.net, you can get, like I said, that book for free, as well as information on how to get the workbook.
And social media?
I am on Facebook. You can find me. I've never searched for myself, but if you my full name on Facebook is Scott Wells. So you can there's probably other Scott Wellses, but I am on Facebook, and I'm just starting Instagram. But if you go to challenge.inspirefaith.net and give me your email, I can start corresponding with you that way.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way.
Oh, yeah. You heard them, people. Come to the website.
Yeah.
Scott, as we close out your interview, what is the one thing that you want to leave with our audience? The one thing that they can take action on today to improve their relationship with Christ?
I would like to challenge anybody, and this is why I'm giving away a 90-day challenge that people can use to grow their faith, and there's a few things that people need to be able to do to grow their faith. You know, God designed us to be social creatures, interacting with others. He didn't he didn't design us to be hermits. I know some of us are introverts, and we would rather just, but really you can grow as a person more interacting with people, and as well as your Christian faith. So I would like to challenge everybody, right now, start your day, when you get up, say pray, spend some time reading the word. That would be like step one. And then step two is, if you're not in a church that you attend regularly, find a church, attend regularly. Step three is get in a small group. Church is great, but if you can be in a small group study of, a handful of people, they can help you be accountable and growing your faith, and you have somebody to, you know, close people that you can ask questions to. The next step is to have a one-on-one relationship with like a mentor. Find a mentor or somebody that you can talk to one-on-one, that you can be intimate with. And I'm not talking about a romantic relationship, of course.
Of course.
I'm talking about something that's best man on man or woman on woman, as far as that one-on-one Christian mentorship. And then finally, find opportunities to share your faith. If you do those things, your faith will grow. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. CWS audience, you have heard him. When I go back and think about the conversation that we have had today, my favorite golden nugget is don't just read through the Bible just to read through it, but find something that you are interested in and dive deep in it. What question do you have? What answers do you want to know? And then go and start studying about it in your Bible. And then bring in other people to help you learn more about it. Trusted people. Make sure they are trusted. And I love the fact that he said, get a mentor. I think that is so important because we all need guidance. And there is someone who is already one step ahead of you in that particular subject area. So ask God to give you guidance on who that person should be so that you can continue your growth in your faith. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. And until next time, beautiful people,
God
God
bless.
bless.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. Thanks again, and see you next time.